Here's to the guy or gal in the buddy seat, the world's okayest cart operator, the dependable grain hauler, the good influences, and well, the others. Life and work are made just that much easier and better with family and friends by our side. It makes the work days go faster, and it makes the difficult tasks not quite so difficult. And whatever of life's hardships come our way, they are made that much easier with a pal there to lend a hand. Whether it's a family member or a buddy that just feels like one, new friends or old, having pals there to enrich our lives gives us memories that endure through time. This is the Heartlands. We are born with pals, our brothers, our sisters, parents, and grandparents. And while working with your family is both rewarding and sometimes difficult, these are the pals that know us best, and the ones that are there to see us through thick and thin.
It's a challenge working with your brother.
We joke that we fight like brothers at times.
He takes care of kind of the back end side of the business, and I take care of the sales.
It's fun and trying all at the same time.
Years ago, we had a lot of troubles dealing with each other. Now, as we're getting older, it's pretty easy.
We give each other a hard time, but even with the customers, it's that way, right? Like, their success is dependent on us. Our family is here, and my family is my parts guys, my service guys. They are our family.
As soon as I was old enough to go to work with Dad on Saturdays and smash pop cans, the people you meet, the people you see come and go, I've learned through life, it ain't about what you know, it's all about who you know.
It's kind of awesome to see Kelsey get involved and want to help her big brother.
Put your camera face on.
I don't know if I have one of those.
Some days are good, some days are bad. We pick and choose our battles.
They actually have always kind of got along pretty good. They give each other a lot of crap, but at the end of the day, they both know that they need each other.
We started putting nut and bolts kit. We thought it was just a game, but it was actually putting together little kits for unis. That's how we started back when we were 4 or 5 years old. They needed the bolt kits for unis, and ever since then we've been riding in service trucks.
Whenever I was a kid, they used to, whatever the hardest part to get to, that's where I had to go.
We've been here since we can always remember, and my son's the same way. He's up here probably once or twice a week. My wife brings him here after daycare, and he's got that little pedal tractor he cruises around on, and life is good here.
In behind the engine of a white combine was a pretty tight spot. There was a place to wiggle up in there behind the cab to hold a idler back while they slipped a belt on. That was one of their favorite jobs for me. I'm sure there was an easier way to do it, but it was a way to get me out of their hair for a while.
We got sent down to Oklahoma to pick up a loader from Livingston's. Grandpa sent us down there when probably shouldn't have been driving, but we won't talk about that. I may or may not have been 16 yet, but that's all right. We made her down there.
It's one thing to be there for family, but being a friend, a real friend, is something different. It means being ready to do anything. Drive through the wee hours of the night to get them apart, answering an early call on a Sunday morning, or sitting around the dinner table and talking about the future. Taking care of your pals means in turn, they take care of you.
Every person, every business needs that number 2 and number 3 that can be up there and take charge.
Is when I can't help that person, when I don't have that part on hand, when we can't get his machine up and going that day. That's a big deal for me. I don't do well with that.
It's a Sunday morning, and we've taken care of at least 4 people, and it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Bruce, 61 years old 2 years ago, got in the truck, drove like 10 hours north and 10 hours back in the same day to get one little part for a guy that needed it. And it's what we do to take care of customers, because we are family and friends to these guys. So I've literally taken a sweep plow that was too wide for a bridge, piled dirt up on each side of the banister, got the outside wheels up on top of the banister, and pulled the plow across the bridge to get to the other side. We've got a lot of customers that will call me during mow harvest, and I'm not they're not happy to have a phone call with me. But at the end of the season, they're the first ones to come back and say, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't really mean to call you that, and it was really the heat of the moment, but that's what makes it fun, right?
And his brand new combine went down, and we didn't have the guy here that was his normal service guy. I called Michelle, my daughter. They took charge of it, and they were able to switch some things around. We got a service tech out to him yesterday afternoon. Now, this all took place at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Parts were gathered last night at Batavia, and by 9 o'clock this morning, we had his combine up and running. They take ownership in it, and today that customer texted my daughter and myself and our service tech thanking us for getting him up and running, which meant a lot to all of us.
Good customer in North Carolina several years ago had a combine fire, called us about 7:30 one night, wanted to know if we had a machine. At that time, we told him we did not have anything ready. This was Friday night at 7 o'clock. Told him we'd get one ready Monday. It'd be at his place Tuesday morning. I pulled into work at 7:30 Saturday morning, and Air Farm semi with his son was sitting here, and he said, I'll be here till the combine's on the trailer. Dad told me to get up here and get something. So he worked with us. We spent the better part of Saturday, got the combine ready, and he left at about 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon, headed back to North Carolina.
Sometimes we meet a person that we feel like we've known for years. For whatever reason, they get our views, share our outlook, and quickly become someone we trust. We've all been the new person at one time or another, and we've all had the chance to help the new guy or new gal feel right at home.
I think that's probably one of the funnest things that I enjoy about my job right now is not only do I love working with the professional producers, but I get these weekenders that come in and they ask, how do we get started? What do we need? Just like when I get to sign the papers on a combine at the kitchen table, because there's nothing more heartwarming than signing papers on a new piece of machinery at a customer's kitchen table, because that's where all the business gets done. But when these weekenders come in and they ask you, how do you plant corn? How do you grow corn? How do you fertilize corn? How do you harvest corn? What do you feed a cow? You know, how many acres do I need to raise 2 cows? All of a sudden, not only are you just a salesperson, not only are you a service provider, but now you're part of their farm. And that's who we are.
Well, you know, people forget that we deal with less than 2% of the population in the United States. And I've told people for many years that the farmer in general is an honest individual. They are people that are business people. They want to do business and do it correctly. In every landscape, you will always find somebody that will try and take advantage of you or do stuff. But for the most part, the farmer, they're good people to do business with. They just want to do it and do it right and hope they can find somebody that'll get them some good information so that they can better their operation.
People come and go in our lives over the years, but it's our pals who we think about, who we depend on, and for whom we'd do nearly anything to help them out. Out in the Heartlands, our lives and livelihoods depend on great relationships to help carry the burden, to share a good laugh, and to lighten the load. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it.
As I always say, we have iron that runs through our blood. I see it in my boys.
I'm proud of both of them. They've both worked hard for everything that they have, and that's, I guess, what we wanted to instill in them is work ethic. So if they have that, they can succeed the rest of their lives. It'll be fun to watch them into their next chapter of their life.
Adam Klein, he's helped us in the shop. He's actually sold pieces of equipment for us. He's farmed for me. He's, he's a custom harvester. My wife babysat his daughter, and then she's cut wheat for me. So yeah, Adam's pretty special. He's a pretty special guy.
What I loved was when I showed up to a customer's place, he's mad, he's kicking dirt, but something's not working and they can't figure it out. when you're a mechanic or a technician, there's much more to it than that. There's the personal aspect. I mean, you're judging, trying to figure out the machine. You're trying to calm the customer down. Tensions are really high. Work on the machine, you get it figured out, you get it fixed, and by the end of the day, you're invited to the house for supper, pie, ice cream, invited to the summer house, you're on a fishing trip. It's the highs and the lows of the farming. You can't get away from it. It's just, that's what you live for. I don't know what else I would do. I don't know what else my dad would do. I don't know what else my grandfather or my great-grandfather would do. I mean, it takes a heart, it takes a soul, and a really tough candy shell to be in the ag machinery business.